Fireside Strategic is a roll-up in the mental health space. We're able to buy practices for between 3 to 5x EBITDA, solve their major problems, and aim to generate a 9 to 12x return for our investors while doing some social good at the same time, looking to raise $3 million for 43% equity. So the big problems in psychotherapy, like Mark said, demand is crazy high. The pandemic dramatically reduced the stigma on getting mental health, but prices haven't increased. And a big reason is that therapists hate to renegotiate their health plan pricing. We can do it. Now, underpriced therapists need to see too many clients. The work is really intense emotionally, so they end up burning out. Clients get poorer and poorer results. Those results aren't measured. We end up with really toxic cultures and very disorganized operational systems, terrible non-merit-based hiring, and an inability to follow up on accounts receivable. Our solutions are twofold. Number one, we're going to focus on picking what we call the low-hanging financial fruit. It's a 3-step plan of renegotiating health plan pricing upwards, solving the big AR issues, and bringing in higher margin lines of business like TMS. Our team has executed on all of this successfully in the past. And then number two, we're going to fix these chaotic cultures. We stand for a set of values that are polarizing in the industry, which, beyond being what we believe, is a great way to attract sellers that are aligned and repel those that are not. We stand for higher pricing. We stand for mental health beyond just talk therapy. So we stand for innovation, like TMS and psychedelics, and we stand for ending the culture of burnout. Our team is 6 people, but the core sort of 3 most important to highlight are: number one, me. I bring a background in corporate law, executive coaching and culture, and high-level sales. Lindsay, to my right, who'll be joining us in the breakout room, is one of the rare therapists with a ton of business savvy. She was able to build her practice from scratch to the multi-7 figures. She still owns it, but it's run almost entirely without her day-to-day involvement today because she's excellent at hiring and building great systems. And then to her right is Dr. Michael. He is one of the nation's leading experts in this business. He built Massachusetts' largest ever practice by revenue, sold it to a large PE fund, which then hired him to run their acquisitions in the Northeast, which he did very successfully. And what he was able to do there was solve one of the biggest problems, probably the biggest problem we need to solve, which is the therapist retention issue. When we acquire a practice, we get the therapists. This is important because there's a labor shortage right now. We want to be sure to build a great culture to retain them. So we really want to look for practices with low turnover rates, and we want to build a great culture. Traction achieved so far. We have, since raising our seed round just a few months ago, got an LOI on a practice at a 4x EBITDA price. We've got a great team, as you can see, and we've got a pipeline of practices we're very excited about, looking to raise remaining $3 million on a minimum buy-in of $100K. The financials, so the typical practice that we're looking at is just below 600 in EBITDA, just above $3 million in revenue. We implement that growth plan I talked about at the beginning of increasing insurance prices, bringing in higher margin lines of business, and collecting AR. We estimate about a 25% revenue boost in the first year and a 37% EBITDA boost. Over the course of 5 years, we're looking at practices averaging about 13% top line growth. And over the course of 5 years, we do this for 5 practices with a 20 to 80 debt equity financing split. Then we can get to an EBITDA of around 7 million. With an EBITDA of about 4 million, multiples research currently suggests that we can sell for between 10 to 13x. So we take the midpoint assumption there and look at about a 10.5x return for our investors. Worth noting that if we're unable to increase the rate of growth of practices, so most grow at about 5%, the ones we look at without us, we can still aim for about a 4 to 6x exit. With that said, I'd be delighted to take your questions in the breakout room. Thank you so much.